Okay, so I can't ignore the elephant in the room with this episode of Durarara. I really pray I'm not the only one that noticed the apparent problem with this episode. I really do. Now, before I go any further, I like this episode. I really do like this episode. It explained a lot, and it was an enjoyable episode. But I, as a reviewer and as a person that was watching this episode, I have to mention the elephant in the room. The animation of this episode was horrid. Like, it really was horrid. Episode was good. If you like Durarara, you'll like the episode. But when it came to the animation and the art, this by far, no joke, I'm not joking, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, I'm not. This by far, this episode was probably one of the worst episodes I've seen when it came to the animation and art style of 2015 so far. Because there was scenes in this episode that if you watched the episode, you saw a lot of it. You have to be half blind to probably miss some of the bad issues with this episode when it came to the animation, because there was lagging scenes. Now let me explain. Those scenes, a majority of you probably noticed it. It was like lagging scenes where you saw the frames, they were like kind of lagging, and then all of a sudden it instantly cleared up and it seemed like very fluid. That was unfinished animation. There was unfinished animation in this episode, not just with those specific scenes, but there was also scenes clearly at the beginning of the episode. If you're looking, you'll see how, like, one character, they're going to grab something, and you will see no, like, inner frame between it. Like, let's just say this, okay? Let's say I was to grab this phone right here, okay? And I was to, you know, be an anime character. All of a sudden, I put my hand up, and then I have my phone in my hand, instantly. Like, I mean, you wouldn't see the thing in between. I instantly had my phone in my hand without any animation between it. And that's what I'm getting at. In this episode, there was animation that had no animation between the scenes, and you looked like still frames, like pictures placed one after another, and it did not flow well. Like, there was some really bad issues with this episode. Like, the animation just took a straight up nosedive into the ground. It really did. It went even 6 foot into the ground. It was that bad. Now, if you can look past the animation and the art style, and I have seen a lot worse. Like, I have seen a lot worse when it comes to me reviewing episodes, and when my journey of being a reviewer, I've seen so much worse. But I was just shocked when it came to the animation budget of this episode, because Durarara, when it came to the series, even in Season 1, I never saw an episode like this, especially a well-known series like Durarara. This series is a really famous series. Anyone that watches it knows how good this series is, and animation is usually always on point. And so I was just shocked to see a quality series like Durarara with a great brand name, you know, the title and all that, have this type of animation. So I don't know what to say. I really don't. But let's move past that, okay? So I don't want to just talk clearly about the animation, but I had to get that elephant out of the room. I really did. I had to get that out of my system, because that is like, oh shit. So, this episode of Durarara, now that I moved past everything else, the episode, it gives us some backstory to this, like, Russian mafia assassin or whatever, and clearly, like, 2 episodes ago, it happened, like, 2 episodes ago, or was it last episode? We had it to where, you know, Henri was getting broken into, like, her house was getting broken into, and you had someone breaking in, and I was, you know, questioning and theorizing who in their right, sane mind would try to break into Henri's house and attack her when she has Psycha. And with the episode, we find out it's the, like, Russian mafia-type girl, and she breaks in. So, yeah, I mean, it was a really interesting episode. I mean, we found some backstory on this girl. We got a lot of backstory that she's a bookworm. She has, you know, processed all this information, this knowledge from all these different books, and she's crammed it inside of her head. She's really intelligent, but she's kind of like a child at the exact same time. And along with this, you have it to where she finds kind of killing people fun. Like, there was a segment in this episode when she went to this, like, gang, and she killed this entire gang for her father. That's what was stated at first, and then we come to find out she killed this entire gang, not because she wanted to get, you know, like, praise from her father or her gang. She just did it for, you know, fun. She did it for fun. That's it. And, like, I'm thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, whoa, this girl is, whoa. She's kind of messed up. So the episode it felt like it was a little bit fast. Once again, I have to mention that. Like, it felt like her backstory when it came to this episode, it should have been split up into 2 episodes. It really did, because I felt like there was just so much information just pounded on top of us with this character, and it felt like it just had to be put in, like, as fast as possible. And I don't know how I feel about that, because this character slightly came out of nowhere. I mean, I know she's been off and on for the series. I know she has through, you know, season 2, but it felt like her overall backstory was just a little bit too rushed. It did. And I can't deny that. I really can't. As an anime-only watcher, it felt like that. And if any of you light novel readers can please clear that up, please clear me up. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I mean, it personally felt like that from the presentation as an anime-only. So, besides the art and the setup of this episode with the ending and stuff like that, the episode had some really good usage of music. Some of the music in this episode was really beautiful, and it definitely suited some of these scenes. And there was each individual scenes in this episode that had some really good animation, depending on what it was. So yeah, it was a great episode of Durarara. I mean, if you like Durarara, you like the episode, you like the series, you like the characters, I mean, you're gonna love this episode. Regardless of the animation, regardless of maybe some slight fast pacing, if it is in fact fast pacing, you're gonna love this episode, because it still has that Durarara vibe, the feel, the theme, stuff like that. If you like that stuff, you're definitely gonna like this episode. And I'm not really disappointed to say. The only thing I'm kind of upset on is the animation, but that's it. And that's, you know, not that bad. It really isn't. That could easily be fixed in a BD DVD when they, you know, finally get around to releasing BDs and DVDs of the series. The company can go back and fix all this animation. So it's not that big of an issue. And about a couple months from now, 6 or 7 months from now, when the BD DVDs are all out, we can go back, watch this episode, and it'll look all in brilliant quality, depending if they actually do go back and fix it. So tell me your thoughts. I mean, how do you feel about this episode of Durarara Season 2? You light novel readers, I mean, how many light novels have we went through already? I'm curious to actually know that, because I know they're trying to adapt all of Durarara in, like, these 3 new seasons coming out. Like, the 3 seasons are going to be 12 episodes each, if I found out correctly, and they're supposedly adapting every single volume that's already out of Durarara. So, if they are, how many volumes or light novels have we went through? Because I know, you know, light novels or light novel series, usually you're not that short. They can go like 20 volumes and stuff like that. I mean, Spice Wolf went 17 volumes. SEO is about to be 15 volumes. I mean, I know these series have a lot of volumes. So I'm curious, how many volumes does Durarara have, and are they really going to adapt everything in these 3 seasons? So if anyone could clarify that, please do that in the comments below. I'm looking forward to that. You all have a wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.